Texas. All right. So, this is, we're going to call this episode 2.5 of Chitchattin with Becca. We've decided that we're going to do some of these little mini episodes where we kind of do some little fun, silly stuff. And today we traveled to Aurora, Texas, and we're here at the cemetery where the alien is apparently buried. So before we get started, as promised, I want to read our responses from my question: if you could only hear one artist for the rest of your life, just one, who would it be? Not a band, but a solo singer. I would choose Annie Lennox. Now, it was a hard one for me because, as everybody knows, I am a huge Dolly Parton fan. Dolly Parton could just stand there and holler at me, and I would be like, yeah, girl, that sounds good. So that's kind of where I'm at with Dolly Parton. But Annie Lennox is really amazing, and that's who I chose. So we got a lot of responses. So we'll start with, we'll just start at the top and go down. I don't know if anybody else was reading these responses, but we got a lot of responses. So we'll read these real quick. We got Kenny Rogers, Phil Collins, lots of James Taylor, Ghostface Killa from the Wu-Tang Clan, Paul McCartney, Lorena McKinnett, Eva Cassidy, Patsy Cline, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Paul Simon, another James Taylor, Prince. I mean, who can deny Prince? Got some Natalie Merchant. Loved Natalie Merchant. Jason Isbell, Michael Jackson, David Bowie. I mean, it's David Bowie. You know, he's kind of up there with everything else. John Lennon, another Patsy Cline. Chris Ponder is going to ponder this one, and she'll get back to us. LOL. Anita Baker. Woohoo! Who doesn't love Anita Baker? So Anne Murray. Love Anne Murray. Don Henley. Reba McEntire. Let's see. Johnny Cash. Ella King. Whitney Houston. Interesting. Whitney Houston. Interesting choice. Whitney Houston. Who doesn't love Whitney Houston? I mean, bless her heart. So that was a lot of fun. Now I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit. This is a really good Texas tall tale. And Amy, also let's talk about Amy for a second. Today, Amy has finally discovered the Starbucks Nitro Cold Brew. That is her second one today. She went to the Starbucks this morning while I was getting my hair cut, and got herself, tried one for the first time, and she is now hooked. So we had to stop and get something to drink because we were both kind of fading a little bit. We had gone over to Dr. Helen's house, and Dad is in town. So we had gone over to Dr. Helen's house and hung out with them a little bit. So this is a real story from 1897. There is a Dallas Morning News article about this, which I will read before we go into the cemetery. This is a very old cemetery. We're going to be very respectful, but there are some really cool headstones in here. So we have been very respectful. We've already driven through. We haven't been able to find anything, but the oldest part of the cemetery first for the alien's grave. The headstone now was stolen a long time ago. So, but they did place, it looks like a rock on top of where the grave is presumed to be. So we'll look around for a little bit, but we're not going to look too hard because I don't want to be disrespectful to any of the people that are buried here. So anyway, let's read the article. This is a Dallas Morning News article from 1897. So this is a real news article. Okay. And by the way, I did buy the book about this, and we'll be looking at that. It has already been delivered from the Amazons and is at the house, so we'll be looking at that when I get home. So the article reads, "A windmill demolishes it." That's the header. That's the line. Aurora, Wise County, Texas, April 17th. To the news. About 6 o'clock this morning, the early risers of Aurora were astonished at the sun which had been sailing through the country. Now, there are stories about this airship that has been seen at this time, starting in California and making its way east. So there are already stories that this airship is a cigar-shaped airship had been seen throughout the country. So here we go. It was traveling due north and much nearer the Earth than before. Evidently, some of the machinery was out of order, for it was making a speed of only 10 or 12 miles an hour and gradually setting toward the Earth. It sailed directly over the public square, and when it reached the north part of town, collided with the tower of Judge Proctor's windmill and went to pieces with a terrific explosion, scattering debris over several acres of ground, wrecking the windmill and water tank and destroying the judge's flower garden. I mean, just destroyed the flower garden. The pilot of the airship is supposed to have been the only one on board, and while his remains were badly disfigured, enough of the original has been picked up to show that he was not an inhabitant of this world. Alien in an alien airship. Miss T.J. Weems, the United States Signal Service officer Signal Service officer at this place and an astronomy, gives it as his opinion that he was a native of the planet Mars. That was his opinion, and he's an expert. He's the signal guy. He is the signal guy. Where was I? Papers found on his person. Papers found on his person, evidently the record of his travels, maybe his travel diary, are written in some unknown hieroglyphics and cannot be deciphered. The ship was too badly wrecked to form any conclusion as to its construction or motive power. It was built of an unknown metal resembling somewhat of a mixture of aluminum and silver, and it must have weighed several tons. The town is full of people today who are viewing the wreck and gathering specimens of the strange metal from the debris. The pilot's funeral will take place at noon tomorrow. So the town came together, and this is a real article. This is a real article in the Dallas Morning News. You can look it up. So the town came together and Aim Francis, she's in the shot. The town came together and buried this alien in their town cemetery. So where we are right now, there is a historical marker. We're going to go look at it. It is 106 degrees outside. So we're going to do this quickly. And I'm going to be tromping a little bit out here looking for this grave site. So we're gonna pull up over here to the, I don't have a seatbelt on, but that's it. We're just driving like 100 feet. So we're gonna pull up over here, and I'm gonna get out and read this historical marker. I'm gonna put my sunglasses on because it is, first of all, they're cute, and it is hot as a blazes out here, and I don't want to get my eyeballs all burned out. So this is a really cute, I'm just gonna turn the camera around so y'all can kind of see what we're seeing here. This is a really cute cemetery. Whew. Ah, ding dang dong. This is a really cute cemetery. So this cemetery was established in 1861, and it's got a fantastic entryway and gate. This is the historical marker, and we'll read it. It says, here, I'll back up a little bit so y'all can read it too. Aurora Cemetery. The oldest known graves here, dating from as early as the 1860s, are those of the Randall and Rowlett families. Phineas Dudley Beecham, 1825 to 1893, a Confederate veteran from Mississippi, donated the 3-acre site to the newly formed Aurora Lodge, number 479 AF and AM, in 1877. For many years, this community burial ground was known as Masonic Cemetery. Beecham, his wife Caroline, 1829 to 1915, and others in their family are buried here. An epidemic which struck the village in 1891 added hundreds of graves to the plot. Called spotted fever by the settlers, the disease is now thought to have been a form of meningitis, which I find highly interesting, by the way. Located in Aurora Cemetery is the gravestone of infant Nellie Burris, 1891 to 1893, with its often quoted epitaph, "As I was so soon done, I don't know why I was begun." Huh. This site is also well known because of the legend of a spaceship crashed nearby in 1897. The pilot killed in the crash was buried here. Struck by epidemic and crop failure and bypassed by the railroad, the original town of Aurora almost disappeared, but the cemetery remains in use with over 800 graves. Veterans of the Civil War, World Wars I and II, and the Korean and Vietnam conflicts are interned here. And this is from this historical marker was put here in 1976. So we're going to just kind of walk around a little bit. This is the oldest part of the cemetery, so we'll go in here. Again, I just want to mention that we will be as respectful as we can be. I don't want to be disrespectful to any of the graves here or any of the people who are interned here. It is a beautiful cemetery. Some of these headstones are really beautiful. So we'll kind of walk around and look at a few of the headstones. And then from what I have been seeing online, it looks like, wow, that one's really beautiful, from 1914. And we've got some other ones here from 1885, 1884. Some of these are just absolutely beautiful. These are Masonic for sure. Those look like Masonic handshakes. But these are just, this person was born in 1856 and died in 1885. These are just absolutely beautiful. Now, I wonder if the hand with the crown on it might also be a Masonic symbol, but I'm not sure. These are just absolutely beautiful headstones. But it is around here somewhere. It looks like it might be under a tree, but there's just a rock in the ground with like a wooden cross. So we'll just look around a little bit. And it is hot as a blazes out here, so we're not going to stay out here much for very long. These are from the 1890s over here. So we are still in a, that's not too bad in the shade. We're still in the oldest part of the cemetery. Some of the headstones have fallen over. And some of the headstones just say JK, like this one right here. That one just says JK. I wonder what this side says. Like literally that just says JK, and there's just another rock right there. Huh. This one, there's a rock right there, so I'm going to assume that that's a headstone that a tree grew out of. This one is from 1885. Whew, my goodness gracious, it's hot out here. Boy, is it hot out here. These are beautiful. Look at this one. These are just beautiful. And then we've got this area here that is gated off. So this would be a family plot. These folks died in the early 1900s. 1899. Oh my goodness gracious, is it hot? Oh, I found it. I found it. I did. I found it. I found it. I found it. I found it. This is it. This is it right here. This is it. Wow. So this is apparently where the otherworldly person, the person that they thought might have been from Mars, is buried right here under this rock.
Someone decided it needed a peppermint.
Yeah, and though I'm just, people come to pay their respects, I guess, to the alien, and they leave.
And a coupon for free chips and queso guacamole.
So there's definitely some interesting stuff that's sitting on top of here.
There's a disc that says alien on it.
Of course.
Something that says Gizmo from Galveston, Texas.
Yeah, I don't really, I don't want to disturb
bill.
any of these things because, these are all trinkets left for the...
Oh, Boba Fett.
I see Boba Fett. So this is it, y'all. So we have found the alien's grave. This is where the alien is buried.
A light bulb.
And again, this is a Texas tall tale, y'all, that is apparently, why, I don't know what to tell y'all, except that, if an entire town sees this happen and then they find the body and then they can't figure out where, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, if you come back in town, here's a key to my house.
It's very interesting. Yes, the alien totally needed a plastic spoon. I agree with that.
Yeah, a plastic spoon. Some pens, guitar pick.
Got some shells, and who knows? Who knows?
Fossil.
I don't know. Are people coming out here and hanging out and drinking some beers to the alien? I don't know, but it is just. This is definitely a fascinating. I can't even tell y'all how excited I was.
Hard not to pick up a quarter.
You gotta leave. It's not ours. This is for the alien.
Well aware, but that one's tough. There are 2 quarters.
But this is really interesting. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that, we're out here. This is
another historical.
I know we're going to go look at it in a second. I also want to go look at that other family plot over here. We're out here in the middle of Aurora, Texas. It is bizarre that this is where we are. And we found an alien grave under a beautiful tree, by the way. Here, let's look at this beautiful tree. So here's the grave site, and this is just a gorgeous tree that it's under. I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm inclined to believe that this is 100% real. I obviously.
Over there, it obviously belongs.
Oh yeah. So that needs to go there. It had blown over there, so we'll pick up a couple of these items and put them on top because they obviously are supposed to be here. So there you go. Somebody took a pen with I certainly do not believe that we are the only people, that we are the only, living things that are running around in this universe. But how interesting. Anyway, let's look at a couple more of these little grave sites. And then we're going to have to get back in the car because my Lord and my Lanta, is it hot out here. There's a couple of more. These are really neat looking. That one just says born on 1887, but it doesn't say when they passed. But these are definitely, there's a lot of Masonic symbols out here. Let's go look at this other historical marker. We'll make another pass at the alien's grave again in a minute. Again, look at that. It's just under this beautiful tree, and y'all should just come on out here because this is a blast. Let's see what this one says. This person here, born 1810, died in 1850. This historical marker says George Lawson Bledsoe, Georgia native George Lawson Bledsoe, 1805, a carpenter and cotton gin builder, came to Texas in 1834. A veteran of the Texas Revolution and the Battle of San Jacinto, he received a pension for his military service and patented land grants in Brazoria, Cook, Jack, Fannin, and Wise counties. He was married to the former Ellen Baudry, 1850, and had 5 children. Bledsoe is buried here along with his daughter, Georgia, and a brother-in-law, Preston E. Baudry. I'm sure I'm saying that incorrectly. Ellen Bledsoe and the couple's other 4 children are buried in Fannin County, probably in Bledsoe Cemetery near Dial. So there's some really beautiful, if y'all like to come to cemeteries and look at grave markers, there are some absolutely beautiful grave markers here. This is another family cemetery here. Cheese and crackers, is it hot? We've got another family cemetery here. I mean, a family plot here. That's a beautiful iron gate. But it's hot as the blazes out here. 1892. Yeah, so we got some more Masonic imagery here. That is a beautiful piece of marble. Again, absolutely beautiful. So I think we'll take another pass at the alien grave marker, and then we're going to go get back in the car and we can talk about it some more. We can look at some of your comments and chit chat about it. What do y'all want to talk about? What do you want to say? Do you think it's real? Do you think it is a Texas tall tale? Like I said, I bought the book. So it just got delivered today from the Amazon, but we weren't home when it got delivered. So we were already on our way out here. We had gone to Dr. Helen's house, like I said. And this tree is just gorgeous. Now, from what I understand, someone stole the headstone years ago. And they came out here with LiDAR, and I have seen some History Channel specials on this, and I have seen some Ancient Aliens specials on this, because y'all know how much I love the Ancient Aliens. I love me some Ancient Aliens. And so will you go back to the car and get some change? A few pieces of change. Sure. Okay. And I have seen some Ancient Alien specials on this. And I've seen them with the LiDAR out here, you know, running it around on the ground. And there is disturbance underneath here. That there is a plot, that there is something that's buried underneath here. So I'm 100% inclined to believe that an entire town witnessed the crash of something that they didn't understand, which the only thing I could think is a spaceship, especially since they found the body and it had something written on it that they couldn't read. Hieroglyphics. So I'm 100% inclined to believe it. And I can't wait to get home and start the book on it. I mean, I just cannot wait to get home and start the book on it. It looks like some of the money has fallen off, so we'll throw some of the change back on there. I sent Amy back to the car to grab a little bit of change so we can leave some change for the alien as well. But, you know, let's move that cigarette butt. Nobody wants a cigarette butt. Here, get that out of here. We're putting a cigarette butt on a gravestone. But I tell you what, I mean, something's been digging right there. Someone's digging right there. Anyway, I don't know what to tell y'all. So let's read some of your comments. Let's see what some of y'all are saying. Let me scroll back up here. Let's see. Helen is excited. It destroyed the flower garden. Funerals for Alien. I know you love these sunglasses, Helen. I love them too. Some of the headstones look like they have been restored a little bit, but some of them look like that they have just been here since the late 1800s. And yeah, the alien needed a plastic spoon. I don't understand the meaning of all of the coins, but like I said, I did send Amy back to get some coins out of the car. And yes, the whole Dallas Morning News article is fantastic, and it's something that I really feel like I want to print off. Like after I finish this up, I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to take some photos of everything. And I'll post everything in the comment section, so everyone can see it. I don't know where the remains of the paper are or the pieces of wreckage. Now, from what I understand, I did read another article that at some point, people have asked several times that they've asked the cemetery, can we exhume the body to do tests on the body to see what is really buried here? And the cemetery has said, well, hell no. So there's no way that this body is ever going to be exhumed unless, a court comes out here to do it. But, again, it is a legend. So, I don't know what to tell you. But I do know that someone in the 70s came, and because all of the pieces of the spacecraft were also buried in this grave. They were buried with the pilot, and that someone came and exhumed all of the metal pieces from the grave. Amy has driven the car around here. So we'll get some change from her, and then we'll leave a little bit of change for I don't know what the significance of leaving money is, but we'll leave a little bit of money on here. I'll let y'all see me do this. We'll leave a little bit of money here for the alien. How fascinating. How fascinating. How fascinating. So we got Amy's in the car. So let's talk about it for a minute. Let's talk about it for a minute, y'all. Ting ding dong, it's hot. So, I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm inclined 100% to believe that this Texas tall tale is real. What you think?
Sure.
That's what Amy has to say, sure. All right, so, we're going to drive around town a little bit and see what's going on. And we'll post some more stuff in the comments a little bit later. Do y'all have any questions? Do you have anything you want to talk about before we leave?
Once you get inside this car.
Well, I want to take some photos. I think Amy wants to roll the windows up because she's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot. Oh, let me get in the car. It's freaking hot out here. Whew. Okay. All right. Donkey Kong.
106.
Let me get a drink. We had to stop and get something to drink, so I got myself a little Coca-Cola. And I tell y'all what, even with that little Coca-Cola, I'm still a little drained from the heat. All right, so before we leave, do y'all have any questions? Anything else that you want me to walk around and look at before we leave the alien cemetery? I cannot believe that we found an... Y'all got to come out here. Y'all need to come out here. You need to come out here to this. When you come in, let me tell you where it's going to be. So over there, wait, it helps if I turn the camera around. Over there, over there is where the historical marker is, at the main part of the cemetery, okay? So when you're coming down the street, if you come in through the white gates that are right here across from that house, the first entrance, and you walk over here to where this beautiful tree is, it is right there, right underneath this big beautiful tree. So if y'all come out here, now it is in Aurora, Texas, which is not far from Dallas. It is it's an hour-and-a-half drive from our house, which is in East Dallas. So And it was a really nice drive. Like, we totally took the scenic route. It was an hour from Dr. Helen's house, and she lives up in Denton area. So we took the scenic route, and it was fantastic. And we went down some back roads that weren't even 2 lanes. They were 1 lane. And
eyelids are sweating.
I know. Mine are too. And that's a beautiful horse over there. Look how pretty it is. What do you think it's doing? Anyway, so it was a great drive. So if you want to come out here and check out the alien grave, I highly suggest that you do. It is fantastic. I really enjoyed it. We will do more of these little mini episodes that are just kind of Texas tall tales. We're going to go for now. I'm going to take some pictures, and then I'll post them in the comments. I may post I'll probably just go ahead and post another post just so we can have all of this fun stuff. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. And when I get home and I get to reading the book, I'll post pictures of the book, and we can talk about the book. We can have we'll have a follow-up episode after I get the book done. We can read a little bit of the book together and talk about this again, because there's an alien buried here. I mean, there is an alien buried in this graveyard.
I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Exactly. I am not saying it's aliens, but y'all, there's aliens up in here.
But it's aliens.
There's aliens up in this graveyard. Okay. All right. Is anything else, Amy Francis?
I'm good.
All right. Don't forget, Chit-Chatting with Becca next week. We're going to be at Dr. Helen's house. We're going to have a fascinating conversation on folklore and movies and myths, and it's going to be really cool. Little's birthday is coming up on September 19th, so if you want to send her a birthday card, send her a birthday card. She's going to be 12, so that's our precious baby girl is going to be 12 years old. So make sure to pop a birthday card in the mail for Little, and we'll post those and talk about those on the show. And then, of course, if you send a birthday card to Little, you'll get a Little sticker back, because she'll send you a present back. And send us mail, recipes, chit-chatting, just whatever you want to do. And make sure to put your return address on there so I can send you little treats in the mail. And thank you so much for watching the show. And it is ancient astronaut theorists that say this is super cool, Georgia. You're right. So come see the alien gravesite. Bye.